Quincy Farmers Market is coming back to St. Chrysostom's Episcopal Church in Wollaston once again this year for the second year in a row. It opens on Sunday, June 18th. New hours this year from 12:30 to 4 p.m. on Sundays, and Director Janet Little has stopped on by to give us a little preview. Good to see you, Janet.
It's nice to be back.
Sure sign of spring is the
There
Quincy
you go.
Farmers Market is opening, yeah. And it's, now I was doing a little math, 41st year this year?
42nd year. Yeah, it's the
Wow.
42nd year.
Okay, but as I mentioned, second year at St. Chrysostom's,
That's
right?
correct, yep.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about how that worked out for you the first time last year.
Mm-hmm. No, I think the community received it very well. It grew about 150%
That's
from
great.
opening day. The farmers were incredibly satisfied with the market. They loved the setting. They have these beautiful big trees in that courtyard. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just really lovely. On a hot day, it might be hot outside the yard, but
Yep.
once you get there, it really was quite cool. A lot like when we were at Pageant Field.
Yes.
You know, nice shade and actually pretty nice breeze, not off the ocean, but still a breeze was created. So,
Yeah, the shade makes a world of difference.
And the trees are gorgeous. I mean,
Yes.
I have no idea how old they are, but some of them have to be 100 years old.
Well,
or
I mean,
older.
the parish dates back, I'm sure, a little longer than that. So,
yeah,
So,
really beautiful trees.
so let's talk a little bit about, I guess, the transition that the market has undergone over the past few years. First from Quincy Square and the old Hancock parking lot, then, as you mentioned, up to Pageant Field, and now to St. Chrysostom's.
Yeah.
So how did that all evolve?
Oh, just kind of naturally, you
Yeah.
know. I mean, when the downtown reconstruction happened, we had to move, so the Parks Department invited us to come to the to Pageant Field, and then afterwards it was at Kilroy Square, and the city wanted to do a market at Kilroy Square, so we had the opportunity to bring the traditional farmers market to St. Chrysostom's, so we decided to give it a shot to
Yeah.
see what would happen.
Yeah, and it's really worked out well, it sounds like.
Yeah.
It's, it's just far enough north in the city, I think, that you have a new community of folks that might not have been aware that the Quincy had a farmer's market.
In the accessibility, if that's the right word,
Yeah.
it's on a main street,
Yep.
so there's a lot of traffic going by, so people see it.
Right.
And they say that's one of the most important things for a market to grow is visibility.
Yeah.
That's the word, visibility.
Well, I remember there was a concern about that when you went to pageants, because you're kind of,
Yeah,
tucked up there, and if you didn't know you were up there, I used to put the sandwich board, I know,
Yeah,
down
that's
to the
right.
end of the
Yeah,
street
yeah.
to guide folks up. But if you didn't know, you didn't
Yeah.
know it was there.
But that was also on the same day and same time, and we transitioned partway through the season,
Oh, right.
so we really had a lot of communication with the patrons to let them know we were making the switch.
Yes.
And that, I have to say, happened seamlessly. The Parks Department did a fabulous job with
That's
that.
great to hear.
Yeah, they did a fabulous job.
So, and of course, during that time, there was the little matter of the
Oh, geez.
pandemic you had to deal with.
We're not talking about that, okay? That was horrible.
It was really rough, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it wasn't fun.
Yeah, we did. I know you did pickup services. You just had to follow all kinds of safety protocols.
Oh, God.
But you survived. The market
Yes.
survived through it,
Yeah, it did.
and the
Yeah.
vendors kept coming, and it was enough to sustain them, I guess, to come for
Yeah.
once a week. Yeah. The market used to be on Fridays, right?
Yes, and then we switched, when we went to the church, we had to switch the day and the time.
Yeah.
But a weekend market is a good thing for a city the size of Quincy.
Right.
I guess it's a good thing for any city, but people had always been asking us, why don't you do a weekend market?
Mhm.
And, basically you can't just switch days because you have to have the farmer availability.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that two of the farms that we knew could do it on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So,
Which is great.
yeah.
So, they're the key, right? They're kind of
Yeah.
the anchor stores, if you will, to bring folks in with their produce.
Yeah, we have a farm from Rhode Island called the Daily Farm, and they grow organically, even though they're not certified, but
Okay.
they follow all the principles. And then we have the Charles River Farm, who grows very sustainable, and he's from Franklin. And both of them did really well. They loved the market, and they loved the people. The people loved them.
Yeah.
It was really a nice relationship happening at the market.
Any vendors where this is kind of their first farmers market, that they participated in?
Yeah, there's
Really?
a couple of families in Quincy that have called me, and they're starting businesses, and they thought of the Quincy Farmers Market at first. One is the Rising Tide Coffee Company, and it's a family from Squantum, Brian, and he will be coming to the market. He's bringing a couple different blends of coffee that
Nice.
he roasts. And then he's also going to be selling flavored coffees at
Oh.
the market. So you don't buy your coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. Come to the
Wait,
market.
come to the market and get a locally
Yeah,
brewed
there
cup
you
of
go.
coffee. Yeah.
Fresh. I think hot and cold as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm looking forward to trying some of those.
Fun.
And then there's a guy named Dan who called me up, and his parents bought him a smoker, not a smoker, a dehydrator, I think it is,
Okay.
for his birthday, and he started dehydrating beef. So now he's got a beef jerky company
Oh.
happening. So he's going to be coming with that. And I have a person who does hot sauce, who we are his first market as well.
Really?
Yeah. He
Okay.
he doesn't have a name yet.
Wow. Maybe the market can
Yeah.
help him with that. Okay.
So get your name out there so we can put it on the website.
Right.
But his name's Theo, and he's from Jamaica Plain. He actually knew Father Chris
Oh, okay.
through a mutual friend.
At St. Chrysostom's.
Yeah,
Okay.
Father Chris, yeah.
Yeah.
And let's see, Fairs Alti, who actually was at the market last year with some of his photos, is going to be doing Mediterranean food.
Ah.
And he's quite good. He's Syrian by
Mhm.
ethnic background, and he's going to be bringing the Syrian twist to Mediterranean food. So that,
Okay.
and I actually had him to my house with his girlfriend, and he brought the hummus and the
Mm.
and I made the meal, but he's good at it. What he does is good.
Okay.
He's very good hummus.
Janet
Yeah.
certified.
Yeah. There you go.
So
I'm kind of easy, though. I have to tell you that. I like most things.
don't be so modest.
Yeah.
You are a very accomplished home chef on
Yeah,
your
no,
on
I
your
love
own
to
right.
cook.
Yeah.
I do love to cook, but
Yeah.
I also love to eat.
Well, it takes both, right?
Yeah, yeah. I don't
Uh,
know. Sometimes I look at chefs and they're like toothpicks. You know, they just cook and feed people.
Right.
I cook and eat with people.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's all part of the
Yeah.
experience, right? But I think it's nice that the different ethnic backgrounds are represented because Quincy is so diverse now as well. You
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
know, and I know that you made a concerted effort to do that, right?
Yeah, and the Indian Mart has agreed to come and bring some Indian food for takeout and
Okay.
consumption. So that's another ethnic background that's represented in Quincy.
Yeah,
So that's
that's nice. Have there been any vendors that have been with you, Janet, the whole 42 years?
not anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about the next longest vendor?
Well, it's two. Well, actually, no, Charles River,
Oh.
because he was up. He called us up during COVID, and he actually has a lot of greenhouses
Mhm.
in Franklin, and he mostly sold to restaurants.
Okay.
And as soon as COVID hit, his business tanked.
Certainly, yeah.
And he's like, I don't know what to do. So we're like, you can come.
Yeah.
And so he came during COVID,
Okay.
and he has stayed since. And he loves the market.
Oh, that's
He
great.
brings his daughter Sarah, and
Yeah.
you got to come down and meet Sarah. I mean, everybody loves Sarah, and his wife comes too. His wife is Trish. She's lovely too, but Sarah is something else to have a conversation with. She's lovely.
Okay.
She came with her dad during COVID, and I think she was 12 then,
Wow.
and she loved it. And Andy would say to me, "This is the best thing for our relationship. We spend the whole time driving back and forth talking about the market.
Yes.
How are we going to make it look good?" And we arrive at decisions, and sometimes
Yes.
she vetoes me, and sometimes I veto her, and it's turned out to be a lovely thing. And she continues to love the market.
That's
She
amazing.
She loves to come. And the way she embraces the custom is really unbelievable. It's worth a trip down just to talk to Sarah.
Yeah. See, these are the stories you don't hear about. These are the backstories that I'm sure that the market over its 42 years has, generated similar ones because a lot of them are family affairs, right?
Oh, mostly.
Most of
yeah,
them are.
mostly. In fact, if you have to pay someone to come to the market, it's almost not affordable.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Sarah started to learn the piano a year ago, and we're hoping that we'll bring a keyboard and she'll play the last half hour of the market. Andy really wants her to do that, so
Okay.
we're going to try to convince her to do that.
Wow, that's great. How many in total do you have? How many vendors in total right
There's
now?
15 right now.
Okay.
Not all of them are coming every week,
Yeah.
but number of 15.
Sure. Any new additions from last year?
Well, I told you about a couple of them.
Yep.
But we also have a new baker,
Okay.
a B&D baker, and she moved in from, I believe it was New York, and contacted me back maybe in March. And she was a caterer in New York, and she was looking to establish a business here. And she just recently confirmed that she's got all her certifications and she's ready to go.
Okay.
So, and she bakes everything. She'll bring breads and cookies and scones and cakes and
okay.
cupcakes and,
So you'll have
We'll see.
freshly brewed coffee plus
there you go.
baked goods. There you go. You're all set.
There you go.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I know you have a list, and I don't want to miss anybody, so
Yeah.
let's make sure we get them all in there.
Okay.
Who
Maybe I
else?
should check my list.
Yeah,
then.
please do. Please do. This is the
Yeah,
chance. We want
yeah.
folks to know
Well,
what's
of
going
course,
on.
Mike's coming back with his eggs.
Mike the egg guy. Okay.
Mike the egg guy,
Yeah.
right? Mike Alto. I mean his name.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. So Mike will be back with his eggs.
Excellent.
Yeah. He just recently got home from Denmark. His granddaughter was going to school over there, so he went
Wow.
over to Denmark with his sons, and they had a family reunion there.
Very
so that was
fun.
really
Okay,
kinda
maybe I'll
nice.
talk about that. I know sometimes he brings a hen as well.
That was the other Mike.
Oh, the other Mike.
The other Mike.
Oh.
That was Mike from Holbrook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he used to bring the live animal all the
Yes.
time. But when Mike from Holbrook really, he was in a lot of, he was uncomfortable from boxing. He just couldn't do it anymore. He
I
was in a
see.
lot of pain.
Okay.
But he connected us to Mike from Pembroke.
Okay.
And Mike from Pembroke's been coming ever since. And now that I say that, he's the longest vendor because
Oh.
he's been coming since, I'm going to say 2017
Oh,
or
all right.
something. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's coming to 7th year coming up.
He is the longest vendor, yeah. And everyone loves Mike. I mean, he's, every market kind of has a signature character.
Yep.
And it was actually Mike, the other
Mike.
egg guy, but now it's Mike, this guy. And he knows everyone by name. He'll say, "Oh, how's your daughter doing?" Or, he just has that social contact
Yes.
that is quite special to watch him in operation.
Okay.
And
very
he brings
fortunate.
lollipops for the kids, dum-dums.
There you go.
And I tried to tell him not to because lollipops don't belong in farmers markets, but I don't have that much control over it. He still brings them.
Okay. He'll just pass them off to the side.
No, he puts them right in
Oh,
front
all
of them.
right.
And every day, every time I walk by, he's like, "Do you
Giving
want
out
one?" And I'm like, "Not today,
lollipops,
Mike."
yeah.
Yeah. Actually, he had a birthday well, he has a birthday every year. But we happened to go out after the market, and it was right near his birthday first. He loves hamburgers, so we went out.
Okay.
And I did this little drawing of 3 lollipops,
Yep.
dum-dums,
Yep.
and I framed him and gave him to him. He thought that was the funniest thing. "That's going on my wall of shame," is what he said to me. And I said, "That's where it belongs."
All right. Who else?
Well, there's 3 kind of health care related vendors.
Okay.
Nigeria's Naturals will be returning, I should say. And she does the sea moss products. But she's actually finished her course in skincare. I should know, is it a dermatologist? I'm not sure exactly what her title is now.
Okay.
But she spent the last year in school to be more educated about skincare.
Okay.
She really has a lovely product. The sea moss has like 102 elements that your body needs. I think 91 of 102 or something like that, but a really large amount of elements and minerals and things that your skin really needs, and makes a big difference
Okay.
when you use the proper soap. But she also does scrubs and she sells a drink, actually, a sea moss drink.
Oh,
and she does
okay.
a bunch of stuff. But she's very knowledgeable about skin care, so
Okay.
stop by and see her. And we have someone, Sylvia is her name, and she actually came from Spain in 2014, I believe it was. And she brought the tradition of soap making, the European style of soap making with her. And she started making soap in her home. And now she has started a little business called Smutty Soap.
Okay.
So I tell everyone to stop by and talk smutty with Sylvia.
What's the difference between European soap and American soap?
You'll have to
come
ask
and
Sylvia
see.
that. I haven't had
Oh, you
that
don't know. All
conversation
right.
with her yet.
Okay.
But, yeah.
I'm sure it's.
But I've
products
tried her
infused.
soap and it's lovely.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's lovely.
All right. Interesting.
And then we have someone that's doing essential oils. And she buys organic essential oils and then mixes them for different purposes. And she has a variety of products, and she's going to bring a sampling and kind of determine what her market is there.
Okay.
But if you're interested in essential oils, and I would say in the past few years that has kind of exploded,
Sure,
it
yeah.
seems. I haven't met her in person yet. I've only
Okay.
had a telephone conversation with her, but she'll be coming to the market as well.
Make sure we get them all now. It's
There
very-
you go.
yeah.
All right.
And again, we should mention that they're not there all the time, right? They will
No,
rotate.
but we are kind of updating our website a little bit, and we're going to post the dates that different vendors will
Good.
be there when,
Okay.
when they're.
QuincyFarmersMarket.com.
Yep.
Main website to go to. Okay. What about kind of quote unquote traditional? Fruits, vegetables. Do you have vendors coming?
Well, the two farmers,
So-
they do a variety
Okay.
of fruits and vegetables, the Daily Farm
Yep.
and Charles River Farm.
Okay,
yep.
gotcha.
I'm talking with an apple orchard actually, but it hasn't been confirmed.
All right.
I don't know if it will be.
Okay.
But they have 20 different varieties of apples.
Wow.
And they're looking for some markets to come to just in the fall because
obviously,
all they grow
yeah.
is apples.
Okay.
So I find that really interesting because I know we would have at least 6 or 8 different kinds of apples at the market.
Great.
And I'm curious what 20 would look like. I mean, I can't even begin to imagine
Yeah.
the names of them
There
all.
are so many hybrids now,
I know.
and different varieties that they crossbreed or whatever the term is, and they all have a unique flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping they end up coming, but time will tell about
Right.
that.
When does the market close, Janet? How long does it go?
It runs through the last week in October.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think that's the 29th this
Okay,
year. Yeah.
so still plenty of time to get your apples.
There you go, yeah. I do hope they end up coming. I think that would be really unique. People come to the market specifically for apples.
Really?
Yeah, they just, yeah. You don't have the, what they call, Honey Crisp ones? Oh, I came for the Honey Crisp
Oh, I
ones.
see, okay.
Oh, sorry, we don't have them this week.
But try these,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, really, apples are a big take, like corn is.
Yes,
People
I know
come
that.
specifically for corn and, of course, tomatoes.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
So you get your traditional, if you will,
Yeah.
fruits and vegetables. Fun.
We have a couple people that are crafters that are coming. And
Okay.
someone, Gracie's Gummies, but her name is Jennifer, not Gracie.
But it doesn't.
Is it-
There's no alliteration there, so
Yeah,
you
no,
have
yeah,
to.
right. But she makes handmade bags that are really lovely. She has really an eye for fabric
Oh.
and for design, and she'll be
Okay.
coming 5 or 6 times through the market.
That's different. Okay.
And then we have an American, a veteran,
Mm-hmm.
who does the American flags.
Yes.
And he's going to come to the market. And so, since he talked to me a couple months ago, I've noticed these, rectangular American flags painted out of wood
Yes.
in people's yards,
Oh,
and that's
so-
what he makes. And
okay.
he's going to come to the market with them. So if you've been looking for one of those, you know where to find it.
Okay. Good
Yeah.
to know. Very good to know. It's a great thing about the farmers market is it provides venues for folks
Yeah.
like these local crafters, local vendors. Yeah.
And I will say to people, if you do something that's unique and you would like to come once, we can invite you as a guest of
guest,
the market
yeah.
to come and see if people are responsive to what you make.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
If you wanted to be a full-time vendor, there's other responsibilities such as you have to have liability insurance.
I see.
So it becomes a little more pricey for you to do it.
Okay.
And most vendors that do most crafters, if they do it full time, they have the insurance.
Certainly,
But if
yeah.
this guy his name's Nick, he just paints them. It's kind of a hobby.
Kind of a hobby. Yeah.
So he's going to come and see if people are looking
See
for
how
some.
it goes. Yeah. Okay.
And then we have a couple of nonprofits that are looking to come to the market this year. One of them is a guy who started a nonprofit called Backpacks for America, and they raise money to fill backpacks for homeless children.
Okay.
And then another nonprofit that's going to come is somebody who is doing foster care and looking for people to support homeless children
see.
in that respect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Good to know. Do you have room for others?
Yes, there's still room. It's quite a large space, actually.
Okay.
It's a little deceptive when you go there, but it's more than 100 feet. It's about 100 feet long
Okay.
and probably 40 feet wide. So
Okay.
there's really quite a lot of space. I did not mention the meat person. We have and I'm still hoping he's going to return. He does farmhouse meats out of Pembroke, and he raises cattle and I believe poultry, but then he not outsources. That's not the word. He cooperates with 2 or 3 farms in New England for pork and lamb, and then he also has a connection with fish. He brings some frozen fish and some cheeses from different farms.
All right.
So he kind of has an eclectic, set of
Offering. Yeah.
Now, when you say someone that's been with us from the beginning, we do have 2 vendors, Ackerman's Maple Syrup. he's not coming directly to the market
Mm-hmm.
because right now he's raising his family in I think the backwoods of Vermont in
Mm-hmm.
Cabot, but I'm not quite sure how remote he is. So he has 2 young children, and so they're not doing markets really anymore.
Okay.
And well, he might be doing a couple markets, weekend markets in other places, but he didn't have the help to actually send someone. But Mike the egg guy,
Mm-hmm.
and he became friends up at Pageant Field, and they still talk to each other regularly. And Mike will have his maple syrup.
Oh, okay.
And so if you want to get maple syrup, from Ackerman's, we can facilitate that for you.
Okay, good to
And
know.
the same with Be Unto Others Honey.
Oh, okay.
Laurie, when we switched to Sundays, is in Etsoa, and that's a huge market for her. But
Gotcha.
she does supply honey to the Charles River Farm, so you can
Okay.
still come and get their honey.
Okay.
And both of those vendors have been with us. Well, it's Golden Rule honey actually, but one of her saying is "Do unto others the Golden Rule."
Gotcha.
You know?
Right. Yep. Okay.
Since 2008, I believe she
Wow.
was with the market. That was when Annalie Johnson was running it.
So that's 15 years ago. Yeah. Okay.
But she has quite a successful business, and it's a lot of work, but
Yeah.
her honey is the best. I've gone to Africa and to Europe and tasted comparable honey, but I've really never tasted comparable honey to her. It's just
Wow.
the texture. I mean, there's good honey, but
Yeah.
her texture, it's so crystally and dense, and just each flavor is different.
Well,
Yeah, I remember she used to come and you could taste like 4 or 5 different
I
kinds.
remember they
and you
had
can
the sample set up.
you,
Yeah.
everyone was different.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And of course, she co-authored the Beekeeping for Dummies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they approached her and asked her to.
Is
write
that
her-
right?
She
Okay,
and
so
her
she's
husband
known
at
in
the
that
time.
field then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's well respected.
Yeah.
She worked with the University of Arizona on the bee collapse syndrome.
Oh.
The hives all
Mhm.
collapsing because of the way some of the commercial. Well, I shouldn't say I don't know if it was because of the way the commercial people were doing beekeeping, but they've tried to understand why and have implemented 2 or 3 specific ways that they do it, which seems to be preventing bee collapse.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So they don't know why, but they know how to do it correctly.
I hope I said that politically correctly.
Sounded
Sounded okay?
pretty innocuous, Janet.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you get
Okay.
it.
All right, good. Phew.
Can we talk a little bit about logistics, about how where to park, how to access the market, and
Sure.
and how to leave? Yeah.
Well, there is a small parking lot in the church, which
Okay.
you're welcome to park in. Maybe 20 people
Okay.
park there. There's a couple handicap places as well that are always open. So, if you have your sticker, you're more than welcome to come.
Okay.
Just on that note, most of the vendors at this time, unless we grow beyond it, are right along a walkway that's quite accessible.
Okay.
And there is accessibility to a bathroom.
Okay. Well,
Oh, I cannot leave here without mentioning the thrift shop
Oh.
at St. Chrysostom's Church.
Oh.
They open their thrift shop, that's not easy to say, every Sunday, and they love it. And the people at the market love it.
Okay.
They go in and, they look around all the time, maybe buy something, maybe not.
Yeah.
But my favorite story from last year of this is this family of 5 came, a mother and a father, and actually it might have been 6. And they went in and they bought each one of their child like something in the thrift shop.
I see.
And one thing that they bought was a whistle. And this boy came out and he was blowing the whistle to beat the band, and I'm like, oh no. So I go over to him and I say, how softly can you blow that? And he looked at me like I was crazy.
Yeah, of course.
And then I said, well, first show me how loud you can.
Yeah.
And he did it. And then I said, now how soft? And it was just kind of funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that was so sweet. Those kids were so happy with the little things they bought for $2 or something.
Right. No,
Yeah.
and it's to support
all total, $2 total.
Right.
you know.
Yeah, it's like 25 cents a
Yeah,
piece or
yeah.
something. And it supports the church.
Yes, it
Yeah.
does.
I think it's called the Mite Box
Oh,
thrift
I
shop.
think you're right. Yeah.
Okay.
Have you visited?
I have
it?
not,
Oh,
no, but
yeah.
I'm familiar with it from the
Well,
notices here.
Last year when I went, I ended up buying this Lenox vase.
Oh.
It was a wedding vase, actually. It had the things on it. I think I spent $20 on it. I don't know. But it was really Lenox.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up giving it as a wedding gift, but I didn't give that as a gift. I filled it with things, to Yeah.
Yep.
So, but you
Like
can
a-
pick up some really lovely things there as
Yeah,
well.
and help the church at the same
Yeah.
time, which is great.
Yeah, the people at the church love it because the
it's
first
a built-in audience, right?
yeah, in the first week of the summer last year, they made over $100,
Oh, that's
and they were
great.
like shocked.
I'm sure.
You know, so,
yeah, they're probably happy with 20 every
Yeah, yeah.
every Sunday. So that's great.
Yeah.
That's
And back to the logistics.
yeah.
There's parking on the street.
okay.
On Hancock Street, there's no restriction on
Okay.
Sundays.
Good to know.
And then there's also a lot of parking in the neighborhood on the side streets.
Okay.
And you can actually, I've been told it's okay, the supermarket there, is it the 99, I
Mhm.
think, allows people during church activities to park in their parking lot near the church.
Oh, all right.
And then it's just a short access, little, you'll see it, it's obvious to get to the church.
Okay.
So parking isn't a problem.
Okay.
Really, yeah.
It's right in the corner. It's Hancock and Linden Streets.
Yeah.
Is where the church is
Yeah.
located, right?
Right between Wollaston and North Quincy
Quincy,
T Station.
yeah.
In fact, that's why the church was built at that location.
Oh.
They wanted to unite the two communities. They
Oh.
wanted access to the two communities.
Oh, I
So
did-
Father Chris told us when we first met him.
Did not know that. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Okay. The hours are a little bit different this year for the market, right?
It is, but if I can say
Yeah,
one more thing
sure,
about
please,
transportation,
yeah.
is therefore the market's quite accessible by T.
Yes.
So if you don't have a car, you can get off at the Wollaston station.
Okay.
And then just as you head out towards the water side, it's on just a couple blocks on the left.
Okay. All right. Or it's on the bus line as well.
It is on the bus
Right, on
line
the
as
bus
well.
lines.
Yeah.
Good to
mhm.
know.
Yeah.
And again, the hours are a little different, right?
12:30 to 4.
Okay.
Yeah. Last year by request of the church, they wanted it 1 to 5, and this year they asked if we would start a little earlier, and we decided to start a half an hour earlier. Well, that's what they wanted us to do. We wouldn't mind starting even earlier,
Right.
but church is going on.
Yeah.
But we're ending at 4 instead of 5.
Okay.
Which is perfect because it gives the vendors, they're home by 5, packed, well, not
Sure.
the farmers, and they still have the whole evening to themselves.
Yeah,
So this
it's-
seemed like a win-win for everyone.
Every Sunday through the end of October,
Yes.
rain or shine.
Well, it's no longer rain or shine.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Oh.
We don't have a community-supported agriculture this year, which
Oh.
is one of the reasons why it was rain or shine.
Oh.
But it was also rain or shine because the farmers kind of voted for that.
Mhm.
And when we asked these vendors
Mhm.
what they wanted to do, the farmers said if it's really bad, we would prefer not to go.
Okay.
So, but we will post that, and it will be kind of obvious.
Well,
I
right.
mean, if there's a little spit of rain,
You'll be there.
You'll be there.
Yeah.
But if we're going to have a downpour, no.
Or obviously no thunderstorms. That's obviously a no-go.
Yeah, thunderstorms are tricky because
Well,
they
they
can
are,
come
'cause-
in a second and be gone.
Exactly.
So a thunderstorm, I would say, would not cause the market to close unless it was really indicated to be horrific.
All right.
you know.
All right.
Yeah.
But that'll be on the website.
If we close, it'll be posted.
Okay. And social media?
Well, we have a couple people this year doing Instagram.
Okay.
So you can, and I think that's linked to Facebook. Don't ask me.
Yeah, I don't know either. I know it's mostly pictures.
Yeah, I try, but every time I try,
Yeah.
I'm not successful. So I kind of feel like I want to just cry sometimes about it. It's horrible, but they're very good at it. So they like to cook, and
Okay.
I like to cook. So I'm feeding them pictures and recipes, and they'll be adding their own. And actually, I've seen a couple things that they've done. We're not going to start putting it out there till next week, a week before the market.
Okay.
But some of the things I've seen are really beautifully done. So
Really?
they
Okay.
have some talent. Yeah. Sabrina and Gracie are their names.
Okay.
So they'll be helping, and you'll see them at the market if you come by. They'll be around some of the time
Okay.
at least. Yeah.
And Facebook is you're on?
We still have our Facebook page, and it's kind of funny because last year, as I was inviting people to sign up for our Constant Contact, which Constant Contact, for people who don't know, is a company that you can make newsletters on and send them out. And so
Okay.
you have to sign up for that, however.
Okay.
So I was asking people if they'd like to join the newsletter sign up, and they'd say, "Oh no, I follow you on your webpage." And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, that's good to know."
Right.
I'm not the webpage. I guess it is the Facebook page.
Okay.
So I'd be like, "Oh, I never really, because I don't
You didn't
follow
know
it." So
that
I'm
could
like,
actually happen,
well,
right?
Yeah. I wonder how many people are doing that.
Right, okay.
It's kind of funny, because we do have over 7,000 people on our Facebook likes on our Facebook page.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Do you need any help, Janet, for the market this year? In terms of volunteers or
Sure, if, and I say to people all the
Yeah.
time, the future of the market is not with me.
Yeah.
Because although I feel young, I've been doing this for 13 years and
Wow.
certainly hope we can transition it, rather than just have it die.
Right.
As when Lee
Yep.
aged and her husband wasn't that
Yeah.
well, that's when Kevin and I took it over. And, I hope we're not getting too old.
Right.
Or I hope neither one of us are not well.
Right. Obviously.
But
yeah.
still, when that happens, the future's going to lie in the next generation that wants to keep it
Okay.
going. So,
All right. So if folks.
anyone that's interested, give us a call.
I was just going to say, reach out. Yeah.
Reach out, come by the market. We say this many times, and Kevin and I aren't that good at organizing people, but we probably should try to have some kind of meeting and see if we can get a group of people who are interested in keeping the traditional farmers market, alive. Because our farmers market is registered with the Massachusetts Department of Agricultural Resources.
Okay.
And because it has access to some of the local food programs that otherwise wouldn't be available.
Okay.
Yeah.
The SNAP program
The SNAP
specifically.
and
yeah.
the HIP program.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
All
And
right.
that would be a huge loss to the city,
Indeed.
obviously.
Yeah, especially these days with the prices are the way they
Yeah.
are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else we should let folks know about right now? Again, it's the 42nd annual Quincy Farmers Market, Sundays from 12:30 to 4 p.m. at St. Chrysostom's Episcopal Church at the corner of Hancock and Linden Streets in Wollaston. 12:30 to 4 p.m. Sundays right through October 29th, or the end of October, the last Sunday in October.
There you go.
Okay. QuincyFarmersMarket.com, Facebook, Instagram, and Constant Contact.
Yeah. You can sign up for the Constant Contact on our website.
Okay.
If you want.
Thanks so much, Janet.
Oh, my pleasure. It's
great to
always
talk to
nice
you.
talking.
Always a pleasure, and I wish you another successful season.
I hope so. Looking forward to it.
And thanks for watching us here at AM Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano. We'll see you next time.